Welcome to the Deep Dive, your essential shortcut to staying incredibly well-informed for the UPSC. Today it's August 30, 2025, Part 1, and we're unpacking a really fascinating array of current affairs, all specifically curated for you, our dedicated aspirant listeners. We'll pull out the most important insights, connect those crucial dots, and for some of you, this might serve as valuable reinforcement. Revision of concepts you might have already encountered. Our mission today spans, well, everything from tiny, newly discovered creatures vital for ecosystems to national reports on urban women's safety and even some cutting-edge defense tech. So get ready for an engaging and insightful session.
Absolutely. And our goal isn't just, covering the news headlines. It's really about revealing the critical connections, the broader implications that are just so vital for your exam preparation. Taking that holistic view helps develop the analytical skills you need.
Okay, let's dive right in then. We're starting with something truly tiny, yet incredibly significant: environment and biodiversity. The Zoological Survey of India, the ZSI, recently announced 2 brand new species of collembola. You probably know them as springtails. We're talking Selena aurantimaculata, named for its striking bright orange markings apparently, and Selena pseudomontana, which looks a lot like the known Selena montana. Now, what makes this really noteworthy is the rarity. These are the first Selena species found in India since, get this, 1979, brings the country's total to 17 species now in this group.
It's fascinating, isn't it? And collembola, they have this ancient lineage. They're among the oldest land-dwelling hexapods on Earth, hundreds of millions of years old. You find them in places most of us just walk past: leaf litter, decaying wood, soil. They might be tiny, but their role is fundamental. They improve soil structure, aid nutrient cycling, and crucially, they serve as what we call indicator species.
Indicator species.
Yeah.
It's easy to just hear springtail and think, well, what's the big deal? But how do these micro-discoveries really ripple out?
Yeah.
For policy, for environmental health? What's the key message?
That's exactly it. Indicator species give us those early warnings about ecological changes. Because they're abundant and they're sensitive to environmental shifts, springtails are invaluable. They help monitor pollution, climate change impacts, even agricultural sustainability. If their populations change or their health declines, it tells us something's wrong with the wider ecosystem. It can signal macro-level crises brewing.
Okay.
So the takeaway for you, beyond just the names of these new species, is that the planet's smallest inhabitants often sound the loudest alarms for itself. They're like nature's early warning system, a critical perspective for environmental policy and biodiversity.
It's incredible. Learning so much from something so small. Okay, let's broaden our view now. From the hidden life in the soil to the sweeping vistas of the prairies. There are recent efforts, including a new database launch, aimed at making prairie restoration more comprehensive. So prairies, basically flat, temperate grasslands, right? Mostly North America, low rainfall.
That's the gist. And what's remarkable is how they sustain themselves. It's a balance of grazing, fire, drought, low temperatures. Grasses dominate, of course, but you also find lichens, mosses, forbs, shrubs, taller stuff like willows, poplars. They stick to the moister areas. And the grasses themselves, they've developed these amazing adaptations. Deep roots, or really extensive ones, growing points tucked safely near the soil surface, narrow leaves to save water, tough stems hardened with silica. It's all about survival, optimizing photosynthesis without losing precious moisture in that semi-arid environment.
You mentioned primarily North America.
Yeah.
Is this type of ecosystem, this temperate grassland, unique there, or do we see it elsewhere?
Good question. Because it points to a global pattern. North America has its prairies, sure, but similar temperate grasslands exist worldwide. They're called pampas in South America, velds in Africa, steppes across Asia. Understanding this global picture is really valuable, not just for comparative geography, but for seeing how different ecosystems adapt under similar climate conditions. That's a key concept for environmental science.
Right, that comparative aspect is crucial. Okay, shifting focus again. Another critical environmental concern, this time high up in the Himalayas. A study by IIT Indore and international partners. Well, it delivered some sobering news about the Gangotri Glacier. It seems it's lost 10% of its snowmelt flow over the last 4 decades. And this reduction is directly linked to climate change. We can't really overstate Gangotri's significance, can we? One of the largest Himalayan glaciers, the primary source of the Ganges, India's largest river.
Exactly. To give you a clearer picture, it's huge. Located in Uttarakhand's Garhwal Himalayas. It's roughly 30 kilometers long, 4 kilometers wide, sitting way up around 4,000 meters. It gets fed by snow and ice from peaks like Shivling and Meru. And its terminus, Gamuk, it famously looks like a cow's mouth. That's where the Bhagirathi River emerges, which later joins the Alaknanda to form the Ganges down at Devprayag. Its sheer size and that iconic Gamukh terminus mean its health is directly tied to India's lifeline.
So beyond the data, the 10% melt figure, what's the broader context here for India, socially, economically?
Well, ecologically, it's massive, of course, but Gangotri also holds immense religious significance in Hinduism. Thousands of pilgrims go there every year. But from a policy angle, the rapid melting, it has huge implications for water security. Think about agriculture, livelihoods for millions across a vast part of India. They depend on that water. If you connect the dots, it really underscores the urgent need to tackle climate change impacts on our critical water resources. It's a central challenge for India's future.
Absolutely critical. Okay, one more environmental topic, and this one has a, shall we say, sci-fi twist. News out of Florida. Authorities are using robot rabbits to help control Burmese pythons. I mean, robot rabbits. It sounds a bit out there, doesn't it? But it really shows how serious the python problem is. These aren't small snakes. Burmese pythons are huge, up to 20 feet, over 250 pounds. Non-venomous constrictors, mostly nocturnal. Great swimmers, too.
Right. And in their native range, places like India, Myanmar, Southeast Asia, parts of Indonesia, their conservation status is actually vulnerable. But in Florida, they're a classic invasive species, mostly got there through the pet trade. An invasive species, just to clarify, is a non-native organism that thrives, often outcompeting native species, disrupting food webs, altering habitats. They often lack natural predators in the new environment.
Okay, so that raises the question. How exactly do species like this wreck local ecosystems? And what can we learn from Florida's, well, innovative approach, robot rabbits and all?
The impact in Florida has been devastating. These pythons eat almost anything, native birds, mammals, even alligators. Populations of many native species have just plummeted. So it highlights the desperate need for creative control methods. Using robot rabbits as lures, well, definitely unusual, shows the length conservationists sometimes have to go to. It's a powerful lesson in ecosystem management and the kind of ingenuity needed when standard methods aren't enough.
Fascinating and a bit unsettling. Okay, let's shift gears now. From managing the natural world to the structures we build as humans, our society, our governance. Because just like ecosystems, our social systems need monitoring too. First up, a big step in managing education data. The Ministry of Education released its report on UDISE Plus for 2024-25. That's the Unified District Information System for Education Plus. And one big headline. The total number of teachers in India has now crossed the 1 crore mark since UDISE Plus started.
Yeah, UDISE Plus is essentially the digital backbone for our education system now. It's an educational management information system under the Department of School Education and Literacy. It acts as a central hub for all recognized schools, pre-primary right up to higher secondary, to record and submit data in real time. Covers everything: school infrastructure, individual student data, teacher profiles, and it's all validated and monitored at block, district, state, and national levels.
That sounds incredibly thorough. So what are the key features making it so powerful for policy? What kind of insights does it actually give?
It's designed for really granular detail. Every school gets a unique 11-digit UDISE code. It has these integrated modules. School profile and facilities covers infrastructure. There's a student module tracking academic and extracurricular profiles using a permanent education number, and a teacher profile with details for all staff. This level of data storage, analysis, sharing, it's absolutely crucial. It allows for informed policymaking, much better resource allocation, and planning an education system that actually meets needs. It's a prime example of e-governance driving social policy.
Okay, very important. Now let's turn to another profoundly important social issue, women's safety. The recent National Annual Report and Index on Women's Safety, NRI 2025, sheds light on this. It's a big collaborative effort, National Commission for Women, academics, based on a survey of over 12,000 women across 31 cities. Key finding, a national safety score of 65%. And cities were benchmarked against that, much above, below, much below.
Right. The report identified some cities as notably safe: Kohima, Visakhapatnam, Bhubaneswar, Aizawl, Gangtok, Itanagar, and Mumbai. These tended to have stronger gender equity, civic participation, better policing, more women-friendly infrastructure. On the other hand, cities like Patna, Jaipur, Faridabad, Delhi, Kolkata, Srinagar, Ranchi ranked lowest. They struggled with weak institutional responses, strong patriarchal norms, and big gaps in urban infrastructure.
That's a really stark contrast. But what's also fascinating is the difference between official stats and women's perceptions of safety. What does the report find there?
That's a critical point. While yes, 6 out of 10 women felt generally safe, a large chunk, 40%, still felt not so safe or unsafe. And perceived safety drops sharply at night, especially on public transport or in recreational spaces. Even though safety perception was high in schools during the day, harassment prevalence is still high too. 7% reported at least one incident in public in 2024. Women under 24 are at highest risk, 14%. Verbal harassment was the most common type, 58%. Main hotspots: neighborhoods and transport.
And how are women responding? Or are they able to respond?
Well, the data there is quite revealing and concerning. Less than a third, only 28% actually confronted their harassers. Most just left or tried to find safety in a crowd. And here's a critical statistic. Only 1 in 3 victims filed a formal complaint. Even worse, only 1 in 4 women expressed confidence that authorities would actually do anything effective.
Wow.
And alarmingly, 53% didn't even know if their workplace had a POSH policy, prevention of sexual harassment policy. Even when things are reported, only 22% get formally registered, and action is taken in just 16% of those cases.
Those numbers on reporting, confidence, and follow-through, they're deeply concerning. It really throws the effectiveness of current systems into question, doesn't it? Highlights a massive need for more awareness, building trust, and probably fundamental structural changes. For you as aspirants, understanding this gap between policy on paper and lived reality is just crucial for thinking about governance and social reform. Okay, building on that theme of social welfare and governance, a new initiative from the Ministry of Minority Affairs. They've launched an additional module on the UMED portal. This new part lets widows, divorced women, and orphans apply for maintenance support specifically from Wakalal allotted properties.
Right, the UMED portal itself, that stands for Unified Waka Management, Empowerment, Efficiency, and Development Portal. It's basically a central digital platform to register all Wakwas properties across India. The main goal is better management, more transparency. It was launched alongside the Waka Amendment Bill 2025. Ministry of Minority Affairs is the nodal ministry here.
Okay, so transparency is key. But this new module, targeting vulnerable groups, what does it actually mean for them? How does it empower them directly?
It's a really significant step for direct empowerment. All WAC properties have to be registered on the portal within 6 months. Full details, geotag locations, the works. Now, properties registered under women's names won't be classed as WAF, but women, children, and the economically weaker sections are still key beneficiaries of WAC assets overall. This new module uses Aadhaar authentication for beneficiaries. It streamlines the whole application and approval process online via state or UT WAC boards. And crucially, it enables direct benefit transfer, DBT, of the maintenance support straight into their bank accounts. It's a powerful example of e-governance tackling social welfare and directly supporting vulnerable groups.
Very practical application of technology there. Okay, let's pivot now. Global stage, international security, a domain where vigilance is just paramount. Recent news, the head of the UN's nuclear watchdog, the IAEA, confirmed its inspectors are back in Iran.
Yes, the International Atomic Energy Agency, the IAEA. It's the world's main intergovernmental body for scientific and technical cooperation in the nuclear field. It operates autonomously within the UN system, reporting to both the UN General Assembly and the Security Council. Its absolute primary goal, vital for global stability, is ensuring nuclear energy isn't diverted for weapons. Nuclear non-proliferation, essentially. It was set up back in 1957, has 180 member states now, headquartered in Vienna.
That's a huge responsibility.
Right.
So what does this latest move mean for stability? And how does an organization this big actually function to keep watch?
Well, its structure is pretty robust. You've got the General Conference with all member states meeting annually, budgets, policy. Then the Board of Governors, 35 members, meets more often to approve safeguard agreements, appoint the Director General. And the Secretariat, led by the DG, handles the day-to-day work. Their core job is verifying peaceful use of nuclear tech. They do this through comprehensive safeguards monitoring, on-site inspections, analyzing information, other techniques. This mission to Iran, it's not just a headline. It's a real test of global diplomacy and the non-proliferation regime. It really makes you think, as future policymakers, how would you navigate situations where national sovereignty clashes so sharply with international security interests, especially around nuclear tech?
A critical question indeed. Okay, from nuclear oversight to cutting-edge defense tech, this next development tackles a very modern, evolving threat on the battlefield. Swedish defense company Saab just unveiled a new missile called Nimbrix.
That's right. Nimbrix is a CUAS missile counter-unmanned aircraft system, developed specifically to counter the growing threat from small UAVs, drones. It's actually Saab's first dedicated CUAS missile, and they've really focused on keeping costs down, using things like additive manufacturing, 3D printing, and low-cost off-the-shelf parts, both commercial and military. That cost efficiency focus is a big trend now.
Smart design. And that airburst warhead idea for taking out multiple targets, it really changes things for drone defense, doesn't it? Especially against swarms.
It really does. It's a fire-and-forget missile ranged to 5 kilometers, uses an active seeker to track the target on its own. But the key is that airburst warhead. It detonates near the drones, not necessarily needing a direct hit. This means it can potentially take down multiple targets at once, which is crucial against swarms. It's meant for ground-based use, standalone, or part of bigger air defense systems, mountable on vehicles or fixed sites. The strategic edge comes from being cost-effective and tackling that massed threat that traditional, pricier missiles struggle with efficiently.
Very interesting tech. Okay, let's conclude our journey today looking at a majestic natural wonder and how technology is helping us prepare for its, well, potential power. The Japanese government recently released an AI-created video showing what might happen if Mount Fuji erupted.
Mount Fuji, or Fujisan, Japan's tallest mountain, 3,776 meters. It's not dormant, it's an active stratovolcano. Last erupted way back, 1707 to 1708, located near the Pacific coast on Honshu, about 100 kilometers from Tokyo, part of the Fuji volcanic zone.
And its significance, it goes way beyond just being a tall mountain, right?
Yeah.
Culturally, ecologically.
Absolutely. It's the world's 7th highest island peak, Asia's 2nd highest island volcano. It's one of Japan's 3 holy mountains with Mount Tate and Mount Haku. It dominates the Fuji-Hakone-Izu National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 2013. And using AI here for disaster preparedness is really insightful. It allows for much better modeling, visualizing risks in ways traditional simulations maybe couldn't. That helps policymakers, helps the public understand, and leads to better disaster management planning.
And what a journey it's been today. Seriously, from the microscopic springtails vital for soil health, all the way to the towering Mount Fuji, and using AI for disaster prep. We've dug into national education data with UDIAS plus cranked the complexities of nuclear diplomacy via the IAEA, and of course that vital NetRI report on women's safety, a really broad and crucial landscape of current affairs. We truly hope this deep dive for August 30, 2025, Part 1, has given you invaluable insights, helped you connect the dots clearly, and left you feeling, well, better informed and more prepared for your journey. If you found this deep dive helpful, please do remember to like this session and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analysis like this. Your support really helps us keep bringing these crucial insights directly to you, helping you stay ahead.
And as we think about all this, the impact of climate change on Gangotri, the social realities highlighted by the NRI report, it does raise a deeper question, doesn't it? What responsibility do we hold, individually, collectively, in shaping the world these current affairs describe, and in finding innovative solutions for all these challenges?
Something important to reflect on. Until our next deep dive, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep connecting those dots.